Hello and welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar on creating youngpreneurs with coding and robotics. My name is Harshita and I'm part of the team here at Turito. So this webinar is a part of an outreach program by Turito for the students who are looking for a bright future and parents who dream of giving their children the best education. So before we start, let me give a quick overview of the organization. Turito is an innovative e-learning platform with a mission to make quality education accessible to all. Now, Turito is present in the USA, Canada, Middle East, India, Singapore, and Australia regions. And programs offered by Turito are NAPLAN, one-on-one tutoring services for math, science, English, coding, and robotics. So before getting into the specifics, let me offer a quick introduction about our speakers at today's event. So we have Ms. Saranya, coding expert at Turito, who is more than 7 years experience in subject matter expertise, experienced in handling client-based projects and management. She has trained candidates in problem-based learning and coding, mentored more than 1,000 students to establish coding knowledge. And we have Mr. Nikhil, who is head of robotics at Turito. He has 8+ years of teaching and training experience. He has trained more than 1,000 students from school to engineering levels, mentored more than 300 participants in global competitions. He's an expert in designing innovative curricula for learners and helped in profile building for university admissions. So before getting into the session, I request all the participants, if you have any queries during the session, please feel free to type them down in the Q&A section, and we shall be answering in the later part of the session. Now, we'll have Ms. Saranya take us through the webinar. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Harshita. A warm good evening to everyone. I hope everyone is fine. It's a pleasure to meet you all through this webinar. So this particular session, we are going to give you an idea about the coding courses, what we provide in Turito. So here coding, which is an essential part in today's world where everyone is there to learn about it, because it became essential like any other thing like math, science. So here learning coding is not just like a subject, but it is a life skill which is going to help the students throughout in their life. So to help them in like it is a life skill they are going to learn. So how we are providing in Turito and what are the courses we are providing in Turito, that is what we are going to present here in this webinar. So the coding courses that we provide in Turito is first is the block-based programming using JavaScript and the programming language like Python, and another is Java. So these are the three different categories we are providing the courses in Turito. So Harshita, could you please take me to the next one? Yeah. So here, how we practice these courses in Turito. So as everybody is aware much today about the coding programs like Python and Java, since they are very much familiar to all around the world. So how do we make the students explore about it and understand about this is by following the different methodologies and implementing that in their classes, making a difference from the other streams or other institutions, which makes the students more to understand more about the topic very clear. So the basic things what we focus here when we teach coding to a certain student is the WAC methodology. Why we use WAC is because when a student learns coding, it is essential not just to write the program, but to understand about the implementation and execution of any kind of code that they are writing. So this WAC methodology helps us to achieve it in each and every class, not only at the end of the course, but each and every class the student is doing. So the WAC is nothing but where the student gets to learn about the visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Visual is where we will provide the visual aids to see and understand about the project, what they are going to do in the class. In the auditory is where our teachers comes in and give a guided instructions to the student on explaining about the concepts. And kinesthetic is where the student have the touch and feel, like they type the programs, they understand it, how the syntax to be written and what are the formats to be followed and how to debug it. Can you click on it, Harshita, please? So here, another main thing that we are having is a one-on-one session which provides us, direct connect with the student and make it to be very focused and understand the perspective of a student and teach the classes according to it. So that is where we are very unique, where we give the classes in a adaptive teaching methodology, where teachers adapt themselves according to the students' needs and clear their doubts and help them in developing their own algorithmic programs. And it is not just we are stopping with this, but we are also making sure to achieve this 21st century learning skills, which is like computational thinking, critical thinking, and collaborative working environments. So all these things have been, we make sure we achieve in our classes. So that's what makes us different from other courses that is wide around in other institutions. Could you please move ahead to the next slide, Harsh? So here, how do we achieve this in our classes? So how do we design our curriculum? So as I mentioned, we are following the WAC methodology where, so the WAC is where we have these resources designed where this visual and the aids are used in the class to make the students understand. The visual animation is where we will show how a particular implementation of a program is done. For example, writing a program will not alone give the student a full-fledged understanding about the working of code, because it is a virtual thing which they cannot see and explore it. So that's where our visual aids comes in explaining when they execute a program, what is happening in back, how the code is being taken into the computer, how it is being processed, how the output is being shown. So that's where our visual aids help the students to understand in a very clear manner. And the practical learning is where the student, once they get an understanding, they have this hands-on experience in the projects. It is not just a concept or a logic-based project they will be doing, but also applying those logics in a real-time based problems. Like if I want to create an automated farm that is running when I enter my home, how should I create a condition for that? So if I want to make my car stop at a signal, so how do I create a condition for that? So that is the practical learning that the student gets to learn. So like just learning that is also not enough, but standing according to the trends, what is happening around in the world. So that's how we are upgrading ourselves in the curriculum, where we are making constant changes in our curriculum, which is in perfect sync to the current needs, what is expected. Just like the AI, the automation, which is using the appropriate modules or libraries which is needed for learning about the current trends, and also handling of their data using the programming, how they could design, like or like using of data, for example, like using a live forecast of weather or live forecast of the news, what is happening in country. So all these latest trends being involved in our curriculum, which makes the student in sync to the current and also a step ahead of what is required in the current IT field. Harshita, could you please move to the next slide? So this is where we are here to explain you the course highlights. So as I mentioned, it is a personalized class where, based on the needs of the students, the curriculum and the teaching methodologies is being given. And along with that, the hands-on experience with the unique projects and ideas. The unique project doesn't mean that we only provide, but also we help the students if they have an idea to develop something. So for example, if they want to create a personalized app for themselves, that is where we come in and help them on developing it by applying the concept of what and how it could be done. So in the course, whichever course they are studying, we are making sure the student does more than hundreds or 150 projects in a particular course. And in every class, the teacher makes it more comfortable and a judgment-free environment for the student, which makes the student to feel free to ask their doubts and learn more things much in a better way. And also, in every class, the students is given a challenging task after they learn about the concept, which helps them and motivate them to apply that and develop something, based on the algorithms what they have learned about it, which indirectly promotes their critical thinking skills, which is not only in coding but also in their real life. So I would like to show you the class, like I would like to show you the video resources, how we will be showing that in our classes. Harshita, could you please share me the video? So this video is one of our Python class using a library that is Pygame. So how we explain a student about a project. So we first start with the storyline on where the storyline gives the understanding about the student to the student about what are characters, what is the concept that is expected to be built, and what are the key pointers that a student has to keep in mind while they are developing it. So here the concept is the dragon and the character, where when the dragon breathes fire, when the character, the hero is near it, he will be considered to be dead, and if he escapes that fire, he will be saved. So that is the idea here. So this is the flow chart where it gives them the layout about how the programming has to be designed. So how a program has to be designed for a hero, and how a program has to be designed for a dragon. So this is how we make our classes more interesting and understandable for a student, so that it makes them really easy for them when they are doing the code blocks. So, Harshita, if you could you please fast forward a bit?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you look at here, so it is not just with the video of a game we are teaching them, but also explaining them about the blocks, which is related to the designs what we have done. So it makes a clear perspective to the student on what they have to develop. This is for higher grades. If when we come for a lower grades, Harshita, could you please share the other video? So when it comes to lower grades, they will be having a vast imaginative power. So to feed them, we have created animated character which will be conversing with them and asking them the questions and making them to think about what they are going to learn and how to achieve it. So it makes the kids listen to that in a more interesting and create a curiousness about what they are going to do. So this particular project is about doing a science simulation, that is like a chemistry project where mixing of chemicals and see what is happening. So here the student not only develops a game oriented but also learns about subjects by creating the simulations, and also it allows them to create something in real time as well. So this is how our classes will be happening, where we make the students to first engage and understand by having the visual components, and then with a discussion in a whiteboard, and then they proceed for the implementation of it, which gives them the clear perspective about coding and how it is going to help. So here, yeah, thank you, Harshita. Thank you, Harshita. So this is how our class is going to be, which is why we are very unique from, apart from the other, other streams of coding courses that is being provided. So, and thank you for the wonderful session. I hope I have conveyed clear the things about what are the courses that we are providing in Turito. If you have your questions, you could put it forward in the chat. We are really glad to answer all your questions. Thank you, Harshita. Over to you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving your valuable insights about coding. So now we have Mr. Nikhil, who will give the robotics introduction and all the information about it. Over to you, Mr. Nikhil, sir.
Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. Good to connect with you all through this webinar. Thank you, Harshita, for the introduction earlier. And thank you for your insights about coding, Saranya. So let's begin about this session. So I believe this session will give you an understanding about robotics, like how it helps the school kids to learn the real world concepts. So can we go to the next slide? Yeah. So let me introduce about robotics and few insights about it. So robotics is a branch of technology that deals with design, construction, operation, and as well as the applications of robots, where the students can able to build the designs and understand about it, and where it can be used in our real life. So this particular technology is updating, like where we can see automated robots, machines which we are using in industries and as well as in our daily life, like which is trying to help us in our daily needs. And as well as the future is advancing with the more robots, right? So the students from the young age, from the school age itself, can able to learn the concepts behind the electronics, sensors, and as well as the concept behind over it. So through with the help of the inaccessibility tasks or like repetitive tasks, which a human is able to not to do, like whenever they wanted to do some dangerous tasks, we might be feeling little difficult, right? So in such cases, we can able to use the robots which can reduce our efforts and as well as which can able to help us in our needs, like as I mentioned about the agriculture purpose, military purpose, and as well as we can able to see in households. Nowadays, we have seen the robots which are cleaning our homes. We just need to turn on and automatically it will clean the whole rooms and will come to the original position. So that way it is helping us and reducing our efforts. And as robotics is a part of like as we are seeing robots are part of our daily life in different fields, in the same way, to help the robots, we are using two other things, which is nothing but IoT and as well as artificial intelligence. Like how we humans, we try to make some things with the help of our experiences. Like for example, if some animal is trying to come and chase us, like we just tend to run, right? Because we used to get afraid. So that details has been fed into our brain. But what if machines? So how do machines can able to understand what it has to do, what performance it has to do? So that details, that information can be shared through artificial intelligence, like whatever the machine has to do. So we can able to teach the machine through machine learning concepts. And as well as these robots also can be operated from far and like if at all remote areas also, we can able to control them through the help of internet. So with the help of these concepts, we can able to control it. Let me give you one example. For example, we might have seen traffic control system, right? Like, for example, if we have a 4-lane traffic areas where like the density of traffic is too high. And if at all we are going according to the traffic signals, we just don't wanted to make the traffic of the vehicles to go according to the route. So instead of that, based on the number of vehicles, it automatically has to change. So that density levels can be designed through a microcontroller, which can be programmed and it can be seen. And towards little bit advanced concept over that area only, where in case if anybody is driving motorcycles and who is not wearing helmets, so instead of warning them every time, so we can able to read the data if who is not wearing helmets or who is not wearing the seat belts. So that can be tracked and give the information to the people that, okay, you are not wearing the helmets or you're not wearing the seat belts. So this is the problems will happen. And whatever the information has to be provided to them, like whatever the remedies has to be taken, that can be taken for the safety purpose. So in that way, like different places, these concepts can be used. So like we might have seen the nowadays like Alexa, right? So through this Alexa also we can able to use the internet and we can able to ask questions and Alexa used to answer us. So how does it able to know? Because the data, whatever the data we are trying to feed and whatever the questions the human is asking, according to that it is trying to answer. So every time it is keep on learning based on the questions we ask, because every person doesn't ask the same way, right? So in that way, the technology of Internet of Things also, it's keep on updating. Can we go to the next slide? So these all concepts which are teaching to the student by using STEM. So STEM is nothing but science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So how does my child can able to learn these concepts very young age means? So we are implementing the whatever the theory concepts of science and math that we are trying to develop through practicals. So our curriculum is designed in such a way that that can be used for any age group or any level of student where they can able to implement the ideas. Be like some of them has that zeal and interest to develop stuff, but they don't have a right path to do it. So in such case, like towards the technology and the engineering concepts can be implemented through STEM concepts. And already STEM has been developed to like all over the world. And through these concepts, we can able to help the students to innovate themselves and showcase their skills as well. So like, for example, how I can able to implement the math concepts or science concept in robotics in the sense, for example, if we wanted to travel in some distance, like I wanted to walk for a while for some particular range. So how I can able to decide that maybe based on the inch tape or like I can able to see, okay, this is the distance of 1 kilometer I can able to travel. But how does the robot can able to do? So here our students can able to decide that. So we can able to help the robots to move in that case. So how to use that mathematical concepts, like we have formulas, right? Like understanding about area of circles. So this particular formula where we are using in our real life. So here we can able to implement, like for example, by taking one circle of like one wheel of a robot can decide that how much distance it can it has to move. Like for example, if we see like one rotation is nothing but 360 degrees. So based on that centimeters that can be calculated and converted into either we wanted to do like rotations or degrees or into seconds, that can be implemented to the logic, and that logic can help the robot to move that particular range. In that way, science concepts can be implemented in robotics to make the students to understand about the real life world problems, and based on that, how they can able to innovate new things. Like for example, last recent we have seen COVID, right? So previously we might have not seen that much of hand sanitizers. So we just need to use the small hand sanitizers and pour and sanitize our hands, right? But after this COVID time, we have seen the automatic hand sanitizers. So that reason of automatic hand sanitizer is to help the human to not touch each other. Like we should have the awareness that we should not touch each other, right? So in such cases, the ideas has coming out. So even we might have seen such designs earlier, like for example, for like for hand blowers, but the same concepts, we are just keeping your hands and the sanitizer comes out. So you need not to touch it. So that's how the students also can able to think about new ideas and implement new concepts. Can we go to the next one? So through this particular course, what our students will be learning. So the students can able to get an idea how to implement the theory concepts to the practicals. So maybe we generally, as I mentioned that earlier, that the students can able to see the ideas or go through the videos or they read it, right? But ultimately they will have an opportunity to implement through practicals where they can able to make some designs of robots or structures, where how it can able to move and which angle it has to go and how many rotations has to move. Or like if at all I have a maze, if I'm trying to control through a remote control, what if the student can able to build his own remote control car and try to work on it? or like how they used to play the, video games, or they used to play with different toys, right? What if they can able to build their own toy robots, and they can able to understand the concept, how to make it work? Or if they wanted to play with their pets, what if they're busy in studying, and they can able to build some robot and a small toy robots which can able to play with them? So it's not only just for theory purpose or just for learning purpose. Ultimately, they can able to have the fun. So the engaging of the robotics kit and as well as the learning can be done that based on the activities they do. Like every class, there will be an learning outcome will be there with one different designs. So based on that, the students should have the fun with learning. So that also helps the students to think about out of the box. Like our major goal is to help the students to gain some knowledge, and as well as whether they can able to implement that ideas into real life. So as I explained, right, like automatic hand sanitizer, whenever the problem comes and new ideas can come out. So in that way, the students can able to solve the problems, can think about the ideas, and if at all any problem statements given, they can able to think about it. So like they can able to showcase their skills in science fairs, or any problems they can get in competitions, inter-school competitions, or whichever competitions. They get an opportunity to participate, and as well as they can able to give some knowledge to the others as well. In that way, they can able to in this process, they can able to learn from basics to advanced levels of robots, like with the help of electronic understanding about the electronics, and understanding about the sensors which they use, and understanding about the concepts and the working principles of the entire robotic system. Can we go to the next slide? So as per the teaching methodology, so we do follow the inquiry based learning, and it's not like just trying to explain something to the student. As I mentioned, that every class will be a learning outcome, and the student will be having the fun and as well as learning. So our teachers will be not directly instruct the student like what to do step by step process, but instead of that, the teachers will be trying to help the students to get the answers from them, so that the teachers can able to help them to find the answers. It's instead of directly telling the answers, they help them to find the answers with the help of their questions, or with the help of their examples. The student can able to get a real life imagination about the problem statement. So based on that, the student can able to come up with the answers, like what kind of components can be used to build such robot. Like for example, I wanted to make an automatic door system. Why does the automatic door system is considering as a robot over there? So everything which can able to work automatically on its own without any human intervention, where it has some sensors, where it has some controlling part, and where it has an actuation, like some kind of action out of it. So anything, whatever they see, whether it has an already output, or they're trying to build some prototype concept or new innovation out of it. So the students can able to learn through this, and ultimately it will be a one-to-one personalistic classes. The tutors will be trying to help the students, and the students will be more comfortable in learning. Like some of them will be little shy or calm, and doesn't mingle with others. So it's a good way to learn the new things with a kind of one-to-one experts, and they will be answering all the questions, and as well as help student to gain new knowledge. Can we go to the next slide? Can we go to the next slide? So basically, we have designed a course, nothing but Robo Ninja. So we wanted to make like every student a new expert by understanding the concepts, and as well as based on the curriculum, we are trying to help the students to go from beginner to advanced level based on the understandings. Like there are two different age grades, where the younger grades will be trying to learn the concepts of electronics, actuators, and sensors by plug and play. So through plug and play, they can able to easily construct and understand the concept and see the outputs. And whereas for the older grades, they can also program them, and they can able to change the things. Like for example, if I wanted to make a robot to move forward, backward, left, and right, what if I wanted to do any other things? like adding a sensor and make some different other concepts. So that can be done for the older grades. And as well as based on the whole course and the curriculum, the students, like as I mentioned, that it's not like this particular course only, this particular classes only has to be done. It's like a universal curriculum which helps different concepts like robotics, artificial intelligence concepts, IoT, where they can able to build some apps and understand how to control the robots through wireless, and as well as by connecting with web applications. For example, I have the phone with me and I wanted to control a robot with your child. Like I can able to operate that robot from my place. The same way the student also can able to understand that how the things can able to work. From his place, he can able to operate that from any other place. Once it will be connected to our internet. But those things are teaching in a simpler manner, not like very much of back-end programming, texting, everything. We are not explaining them, but in a simpler manner where they can able to get it trained and make the machine understand what process it has to do it. In that way, I just wanted to show you some of the robot working videos. Harshita, can you show some videos too? Like, can you run the video? So through this video, you can able to see like how the students can able to build a different set of robots and understand about the concepts. So if you see like
Is
an
my
electric
screen
bike,
visible?
yeah.
Okay.
So you can see that it's an electric bike. So basic electric bike we might see, right, like which will run with the battery. So here the students will understand about the structure, how to build, and as well as how to implement that. So the same concept they can able to change it, like a different design they can able to bring out their own way. And these are the simpler ways the students can able to build. In the same way, if the student wanted to program it, then also they can able to add a controller with it and they can program as well. If you see, it's like a plug and play, like they have constructed and they're connected, and just once they turn on, it can move. So this one, it's like a programming based. So this is a line following robot. It is trying to follow a path. So the tutors also will be helping the students how to construct the components, and whenever they use any component, they'll be explaining about what is the use of this component and how it will be helping. So that, as I said, that the major goal of the students is like whatever they understand the concepts, whether they can able to implement anywhere else, means by using this sensor, whether they can able to do any other projects or understanding about any other challenges and how they can able to implement it. So there are advanced projects also there, basic projects also there. So the whole curriculum, as I said, that it will be from the basic level to the advanced level. So we see like a cable car, like how it can able to transport the people, right? So in the same way, it's like a fun and way, like where they can able to transport the food from in the home itself, from place to place, how that can be done. So you can see it is trying to carry some food over inside. So it's like an obstacle avoiding robot. If like generally how we drive the cars, as you can see, initially the cars normally we used to drive manually. Now we can have seen like Tesla car where it can automatically drive, right? But as per the technology in the car also, initially there are no beginning technology, like if we don't wear the seat belt, it makes alarm. But now you can see that in beginner, like if you don't close the doors, it doesn't make any sound. But now it's making like that also. In the same way, we can able to keep on improve the technology and improve the innovations. So you might have seen this everywhere, like in airports or malls, like the conveyor belt system, how it is working. So to the same conveyor belt system, this is like basically we are trying to show you the movements, like how it can able to. In the same way, if you wanted to apply a sensor, and based on that sensor, if at all it wanted to read the colors, or if you wanted to make it see, like if at all any obstacle or any kind of package placed on that, then only it has to move. So that can be keep on updating. So the student can able to employ his ideas and try to make new designs as well. Like continuation projects can be done throughout the whole course. Ultimately, the student can able to build capstone projects based on whatever the learning they have done, and through that they can able to gain a lot of knowledge. So that is related to the course and about robotics, and I hope I have given you the basic idea about the whole course and knowledge about it. And if at all you have any questions, you can drop them out so that we can able to answer. That's it from us.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nikhil, for the insightful session. I could not see any question in the Q&A section. I request all the parents again, if you have any queries related to the curriculum of coding and robotics, kindly post your questions in the Q&A section. So meanwhile, I would like to introduce our program manager in Turito, Mr. Kashif Ansari, who is here to answer your queries related to the courses, coding and robotic classes structure. So, Mr. Kashif, over to you.
Thank you, Arshita. Thank you, Mr. Nikhil. Hello, everyone. This is Kashif here, program manager from Turito side for the coding and robotics. Uh, we have this exclusive webinar offers. If you can, like, it's there in the on the screen. So if you enroll your kids for the robotics or either for the coding program, you'll be getting flat 20% off on the first come first serve basis enrollment. And also, if once you are enrolled in the system and you're referring to other parents and also on and the other parents should successfully enroll with the Torito, you'll be getting like referral bonus of 60 pounds. It will be credited as a referral bonus. You can use as in in the course, or you can get into the bank accounts. If you're referring to someone, the first one, the enrollment, your enrollment will be like within 48 hours of the webinar. So if you're enrolling within 48 hours, you are eligible for the getting the referral bonus. Then the referral offer is for the both the parties. Even you can also get the referral bonus and the parent can also get the referral bonus at the same time. And the referred parent should be a part of webinar. They shouldn't be like outside the system or outside this like there should be other person apart from this webinar, like you people of like the attendees should not be the same. Even we have the student dashboard as well as the parent application where you will be tracking the child's progress, about the classes, the weaknesses and the strength for both the programs. And also for the student dashboard, the kid will be getting the access for 24 into 7 where they can go for the assessment and the practice papers. So hurry up. In 48 hours, you can get the flat 20% off on the coding and robotics, and you can put your questions in the Q&A if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you, Kashif. I believe we have one question here, and it is for you only, that how many courses are there?
Coding, we have the coding is a separate course and the robotics is a separate course. You can opt for anyone as per the child's interest and the needs.
Parents, I request everyone that if you have any queries, anything related to coding curriculum, what we teach, how are the our classes going to be there, you can ask all your queries openly in Q&A section related to coding or robotics. We can wait for next 3 minutes for the questions. Kindly post your questions. just to clarify this question once again, that how many courses are there, I would like to say that along with coding and robotics, we definitely provide classes in English, maths, and science subjects also, if any of the parent interested to enroll their kid in other subjects as well. But yes, in coding robotics, there is a winter camp offer, which you can see on the screen, and it is available for next 48 hours only. Fine, I think we are good for now. If any parents has any queries, you will definitely receive a call from our counselor within 24 hours, and you can ask your queries to them. It would be answered. So we will be ending the session now. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to know more about Turito, please visit our website www.turito.com. And if you have any queries, please feel free to reach us at care@turito.com. For a better way of learning, join Turito now. Have a great evening, everyone. Thank you for joining.